Okay, it is elderberry syrup time of the year. Now, this year unfortunately wasn't a good harvest of elderberries. It's late in the season here for me to harvest them, but that's because I kept looking for them. Elder flowers this year were in abundance, but elderberries were not. We had a very dry, hot summer, and so the berries all shriveled up and dried. Anyhow, in this pot I have 3 cups of elderberries, destemmed, so all the stems are taken off. I would have liked 3.5 cups, but I just didn't have enough. And I've got just a little bit under 3 cups of water. I've got some herbs and spices in there like cloves. You can put ginger in there if you want. And then I'm going to pop some cinnamon sticks in there. I am going to let this come to a boil and let it reduce down a little bit before I add in some honey. Okay, so sorry about the steam, but we've brought it to a light boil, and I have taken the heat down because now I just want to simmer it and reduce it down before I smash up those berries. Okay, this has been simmering now for about half an hour. It's getting a bit thicker and it's reduced, and so now I'm just crushing the berries to, get all of those active ingredients out of them. And we will strain this at the end, but for now I'm just mashing them with a masher, just to get the most out of our elderberries. Okay, so now I'm just going to pour everything in and strain it, and then allow everything to cool before I add in the honey as a bit of a preservative. Okay, so I've just got the rest out of the pot, and now I've got like a double strainer here because I don't want too much of the seeds of the elderberry to go through. And I've got gloves on because this will stain, and it's quite hot. It's just come out of the pot. So basically I'll let it go through the strainer and my muslin and collect all the juice at the bottom. But I might actually have to wait till that cools down a bit before I can squeeze it. Okay, now I have a cup of honey, and this is going to act as a preservative and a sweetener. We all have this, including my 6-year-old son, when we have colds and flus or snuffly noses through the winter, or even actually just as a morning drink. We have it with, a teaspoon of it in warm water with honey. Not with honey, with because it's got honey in it, with lemon juice. So this acts as a preservative and a sweetener, and will help it last in the fridge for 2 to 3 months. Last year's batch actually lasted all season, which was beautiful. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, so now I am going to ladle the syrup into a canning jar, and I'm hoping it thickens up a bit after it cools down, because I like my elderberry syrup a little bit thicker than this. So I may have got my ratios this year a little bit out of whack, but we'll see how we go. And now finally, the last most important thing that we need to do is to label it, so then we know the date, what it is, and pop it in the fridge. And you can write the expiration date on it if you like. I just kind of keep checking on it and know the consistency and know how it looks when it's still good and when it's not. Obviously, if I was giving this to someone, I'd put an expiration date of about 3 months on it, but I tend to push mine a little bit longer than that. So I know how it looks, but you can do as you please.